The more you heal after abuse and you clear the trauma, you work on your energy, and you get in a better place, to a better place mentally and spiritually and physically, you're going to start remembering so many things that happened back in the days, and you'll be also wondering, what did the narcissist want from you in the first place? Why did they choose you? There were so many people they could go with, especially if we're talking about relationships. There's so many people they could choose. Even that you have been the black sheep of the family, you're also asking yourself a question: why among other members in the family, why were you the person that was usually being targeted? So you're having a lot of these questions, but eventually, for some reason, you have a few answers for yourself. The narcissist is not in charge of themselves, okay? So they are not able to wake up, they know the basic things like, of course, have a cup of tea or whatever, and, go to work or things like that. But there is so many things that they are not capable of. A narcissist is not capable of making the right decisions in so many different kinds of ways. Even you have seen sometimes when you have been with a narcissist and there was something you was planning to do, for example, and you might have decided to, give them a chance to take the lead. Okay, so you're going to buy this house, or you want to do this job, or you want to buy this type of clothes, and you've allowed them to take charge of this. And in the long run, you have realized that actually whatever they decided, it has either caused you problems, maybe sometimes you've run into debt because they made you borrow some money, and at this time you're realizing that you couldn't pay back that money, so you're running in debt. And there are so many things that actually the narcissist will do that will always continuously cause so many problems between the two of you. I would see this back in the days that most of the decisions we used to take with so many different narcissists, of course, I've been involved with, most of the decisions we used to decide to take, I would sometimes give the narcissist an opportunity to make that decision, okay? And almost all, I could say 95% of the time, it was a wrong decision. So that decision sometimes ended up causing problems in that entanglement. And as well, you have also paid the price. The narcissist is looking for someone who is, because they know they have got this, I could call it, the narcissist is usually in self-destructive mode, okay? So most of the things they do, they end up messing up. They mess up very good friendships. They mess up people's businesses. A lot of you guys, if you're running a business and you employ these narcissists, you're coming around and you're finding that something has happened, or somebody didn't pay for a product, or something has happened. A lot of you guys, even some businesses are going bankrupt because you've employed these kind of individuals. It always happens that the narcissist needs somebody who is like kind of going to help them move towards the right direction. So they need some kind of guidance, okay? It is not something they really come and tell you this. Of course, you will not know about this in the beginning. When you meet those individuals, they'll always show you that they have got everything going on, so they have all their mind in order, everything is in order, so they'll try to show you that they're on top of their game. But a few months down the road, you realize that actually they're not in charge of themselves and they're not on top of their game the same way that they want you to believe. So they usually target like empaths. An empath, you can wake up, you're okay to be alone. You don't have any problem with being alone, but because even most likely you've been most of your part alone, most of your life alone. It doesn't bother you. Sometimes it's very uncomfortable, of course, but it doesn't really bother you because you can still manage being by yourself, making your own decisions. You wake up, you go to the store, buy the products, come around, cook a meal, sit down and watch television, and follow up on your favorite soaps, and you don't have to worry about anything. You can go to bed and sleep comfortably. Spend the night, sometimes even by yourself, comfortably. These things that the empath is capable of, they are the qualities that the narcissist doesn't have. So the narcissist feels very, I could call it jealous. I could call it angry towards you. So sometimes you see a lot of these guys, they are blasting you, out of the blue. They are raging at you because you're having a comfortable time in your in the chair watching a movie. You're not bothered with anything. You put on your best clothes or whatever. You want to go out there and do whatever you want to do. A narcissist will figure it around with every single part of their lives. They're going to be struggling with everything that they do. Okay, everything they do, they know that they have got this wiring in their head of a very little child. So something they will do, they will either not do it at all, or they will do it very poorly, or sometimes they will overdo it. If you've been with a narcissist, for example, you might have decided to, let's say, for example, you had a meal, and you could have noticed that the narcissists were either they would underfeed you, or sometimes they would overfeed you. Okay, so sometimes it was not even fed at all. So those kind of things are very common. The narcissist is a very broken individual. These people, they are very, very broken. And the more you get into this healing, these are some of the things you will start to realize and to recognize that is going on with these individuals. So you're not dealing with a person that can stand on their own, move towards the right direction, make the right decisions. They're always going to be running around with mistakes. Something is always going to be messed up. Something will sometimes be broken. You will always be having a lot of problems. So when you're dating this kind of people, you cannot expect to, have a very peaceful life. There will always be things again and again. It's like a very big turmoil. It's like a very big vigorous cycle. When you involve with them, whereby you feel like almost everything you do together is not going well. They need you for example, you're an empath, and you have been with a narcissist. You best believe that they need you to, some kind of give them some form of validation. So when they're doing something, you can always come in and you'll tell them, listen, maybe I've put too much salt in the food, or you left something on the sofas, or you did this one, or did this. So sometimes they need that kind of thing whereby you are actually helping them to rearrange, or reorganize themselves and rearrange their lives. You know what I mean? Because a narcissist is a person who can just, get in the car, and they're just going to put everybody in the car, and they're just going to rage on the road. You guys are bad about the road rage. Sometimes they will just drive the car and go, and hit the pole, or hit the pavements and stuff like that. So mostly the narcissists, they are very, they know that they are not in control of so many things. You are dealing with a very little child. In their mind, they're a very little child. They want to show you that they're this big fella, this big guy, mature and everything. But at the end of the day, inside of their brain, it's a very little child. And you also realize that this little child is also capable of making so many mistakes along the journey. You know what I mean? So the empath, I could say that you're some kind of a navigation. It's like they use you for some form of GPS. You're the narcissist GPS, okay? Sometimes they wake up, they don't even know what they need to eat. They wake up, they don't know how they're going to spend their day. It's time for shopping, they don't even know what to shop. Most of the times you go with these narcissists in the shops, and you see them running up and down, grabbing everything that they can get. They have got a budget. You guys have got a budget for the shopping, but they're running into these stores, and they're just grabbing anything that they can get. So they are completely out of control. So you as the empath, is like you are the one who is going to, take charge of a lot of things, guide them a little bit, show them a little bit how things are supposed to be done. Although it has got to be done in a way that it does not make them like feel very small or very uncomfortable, but they also need you to participate in those entanglements in a much more healthy way, because the narcissist knows deeply that from the inside of within their souls, they're empty. They know that there's nothing there. They know that they're always going to mess up. They know that they're always going to, do the wrong thing here and there. They know that they're going to crash. Almost every narcissist you have met, in every entanglement that you've been, you can best believe that they know in the deep of their mind, in the back of their mind, that that entanglement, that relationship, that marriage is going to crash at some point. So it's like they're kind of always preparing for the worst. There are guys who are in there, but they're just fooling around with you, manipulating you, lying you a little bit. They're just playing the game. But at the end of the day, they know that every situationship they've gotten involved, relationship or whatever, they know that it's going to crumble. And so sometimes they just need to prepare themselves. When that time comes, they want to be ready and prepare for the next victim. Okay, so when you're gone, because they know maybe one day you're going to catch up on them, or one day you're going to feel like there's nothing going on and you cannot handle this, and maybe sometimes they know that you're going to walk away. So they actually start planning in advance, to prepare themselves for who is going to come in next, the next victim. And that cycle goes on and on and on and on. So the only person who wasn't aware of this was you, So you was not aware of this, that actually they have already been with people before. And they have just kept on doing the same thing again and again. And, it's like the same cycle over and over again, and there's nothing they could change. The only thing they knew how to do very well was to end with one victim after destroying them, and they can just always, run off and go find somebody else who is actually much probably less aware of who they are, so that they can actually repeat this cycle. So it's a repeated cycle, okay? And this thing normally goes on for the rest of their lives. But at the same time, you realize that mostly all their entanglements, situationships, relationships, marriages, or friendships, they have always been targeting very good people, okay? So they have always been bringing in or targeting or befriending or marrying very good people. There is something what you have, they like, they adore deeply and secretly. They admire your qualities. They know that you've got everything going on. They know that you're actually even mature, emotionally mature. They know that there's so many things that you can do. And sometimes they know that a lot of these things and qualities that define you as an empath, they do not possess these qualities. So they come in to destroy everything you ever believed about yourself. And on the other hand, they're going to start stealing those qualities to make those qualities their own, okay? So they want to embody those qualities. So they'll beat you down for something you have done, and before you know it, in a day or two, a couple of minutes or hours, you're going to see them doing that same thing that they told you wasn't even valid, or wasn't even necessary, or something like that. Don't watch that movie, for example. Don't cook that food. Don't wear those shoes. When you turn around, you find the narcissist is wearing the same shoes. They're cooking the same food they told you was bad. They're doing the same thing which they told you shouldn't be done. So that is how you know that actually you're dealing with a narcissist, because they secretly know what makes you unique. And they secretly admire and adore your qualities as a person, as an empath. So they need to destroy everything you ever believed about yourself and beat down your self-esteem to bring you down to their vibration. But then secretly, they're going to actually embody these qualities as their own. So have you guys may have noticed as well that when you have left the narcissist, you kind of feel like you are the problem. You are the narcissist. Sometimes you're beating yourself up and you're like, maybe you was the problem all along. And they were the good ones because they've already gone around telling everybody that they were nice and they tried to do the best and you couldn't listen and stuff like that. And mostly when they are going into those kind of new relationships, they are going inside those relationships with your energy. So most of the things they do, especially in the first 3 to 6 months, is going to be everything about you. They're going to be cooking the same food you did. Sometimes you may see them dressing the same way you did, watching the same programs you used to do. So they're actually moving along with your energy, okay? Most of the times, there's 3 to 6 months. And in due time, they're now copying the energy of the new supply, okay? The new victim that they've found in that time. And eventually, they will abandon those qualities that used to make you who you are, and they're going to copy the new qualities of the new person that they're dating at that moment. So this thing just keeps on going on and on and on. But if you come to think of it, it is one of the most disturbing things you'll ever encounter in your entire life. That is what the narcissist does. Destroy people, lie, manipulate. And when everything is done, they abandon you and run off to somebody else. And the cycle just keeps on repeating. But I can best believe, I can best guarantee you that the narcissist needed you for their own survival, okay? You are the narcissist GPS, you was their supply, you was their food, you was their navigation, you was their validation, you was their everything. But at the same time, these are the things that they never wanted you to know, okay? So they were secretly actually admiring you and adoring you behind the scenes. But when they came around you, they would just beat you down and, try to make you feel like you're worthless and, you're not worth a penny or stuff like that. So for the empaths, when it comes to narcissistic abuse, just understand that this is something is very difficult, of course, but it will take you a whole lot of healing to figure it out. Just try to understand that it's not personal, okay? This whole narcissist thing and everything is not personal. The fact that you've awakened and, you have been able to get out and, start living your best life and everything, it is the best you can do for yourself. It is not personal. You can always make conscious decisions afterwards, move towards the direction that you want to go. But any person you've left behind, you're not missing out on anything. Let them go, okay? Let them be. Don't need to look for them. Don't need to call them. You don't need to contact them. You do not need them for anything, because in the first place, the narcissist was the one that needed you. You never needed those individuals, okay? So drop us a comment in the section below. Let us know what you think. You guys know that I do love and appreciate support. Book a session, donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. There's the most signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.